Hello, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. In this simple tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can easily create the light and dark mode on your web page. We are going to be using CSS and JavaScript in this simple tutorial. As you can see in the live demo, the user can easily turn it to a dark mode, check it, and goes back to the normal mode or light mode. So we are just using CSS and JavaScript, and it's nothing big, nothing complicated. You're going to see how it's done on and off, so stick around if you want to see how it's done. I'll refresh that page and we lose everything, so we're going to be starting from scratch. So as I told you, we are going to be using CSS and JavaScript, so we can easily include them in the same page here, but I want to be having a clean files, clean files, not a clean file. Yeah, a clean file or clean files, because they are going to be very many. So we are just going to create the style.css file, and also we shall have you can call it anything you want. So files are also user defined, you can call it anything you want. So Ctrl S on your keyboard. I'm going to call this one main.js. So there are 3 files, and let me get a column of 3. So this one is going to go in this one. Oh, then JavaScript file will go that side. So first we are going to work with the HTML file, and here I'm just going to place the input tag, and it's going to be a checkbox. Oh, sorry, we don't need this name. We're just going to give it an ID of what. So IDs are user defined, so I can just call it mode selector. You can call it anything you want, so long as you refer to it as we go on. So we have that, and I'm just going to put below it a label of turn on /off. Oh, sorry, dark mode, non-node mode. So when we refresh the page, we're just going to be having that. That's the only markup that we need. So now let us link these 2 files that we created. So first, in the head section, I will link the style file. So since they're in the same directory, I will just write style.css, and I like including my JavaScript right before the closing tag. So I put our script tag here. Can remove this type attribute, it's not necessary, but you can leave it there. Then let us link to the main.js file, so they're in the same directory. So this is the only markup that you need. So we have linked to CSS, we have our input element that we need, and also the the script file, the main.js file. So that's it for the HTML or markup. So let's go to our CSS. So first of all, I want this content to be somehow centered in the middle. So in the markup, I have a div, and it has a class of container. So I'm going to go in my style.css and target that div container, and I'm just going to give it a max width of, let's say, 70%. So this is custom styling. Then I'm going to give it a margin of 0 auto. Let us refresh the page, and that's it. That's how I want it to be. Now let us create our dark mode class. So as I told you, we are going to be using CSS and JavaScript. So we are going to create a class here. It's not yet defined, but we are going to put there. We are going to call it dark_mode. So you can call it anything you want, dark mode straight away, but I've created dark_mode. And what this one will be having, it will be having the property of background, and the value will be black. So I'm going to use hexadecimals, so 000, but you can put a real word like black. And the color, I want the text to be white, so I'm going to use hexadecimal values FFF, but you can write white. So that's the only thing or class that we need to put in CSS. So CSS is done. Then let us go to our JavaScript. As always, I tell you, you have to listen to the document load. So document.add event listener, and the type of event that we want to listen to is DOM content loaded. Then we put in the callback function. So here in jQuery it's like document.ready function. So this is what we write in vanilla JavaScript. Then the first thing you're going to do, you're going to now grab on this element that we created here. Let me pull in our HTML. So we need to access this input element that we created, and to do that, let me now first make this 2 columns. Remove the style, we don't need it right now. So we need to access this checkbox element, and to do that we are going to create a variable, and we say mode switch, and we are going to assign it to document get element by id, get element by id, and the id that we want is called mode selector. So this one that we gave to that checkbox, shrink that to that size. So now since we have that, let us add. So when the user clicks this, so we shall be toggling between the change event. So we are going to add an event called change on this element, so the checkbox. And to do that, we shall use that variable that we created there up, mode switch. So this is the variable that we created there, and we say dot add event listener. Then we are going to add an event called change. So when the user changes, so it's like that's a change. When we remove, that's also a change. So the more we continue changing or toggling back and forth, so we are adding that change, and here we can put in a callback function or name a function. So I'm going to call it mod changer. So that's the name of the function that we are going to define in some few seconds from right now. So we are going to create a function called mod changer. So this is what we have defined here. You can call it anything you want, so it's user defined, but the event is the most important part. So let me just put an alert here and say changed. Let us refresh the page. When we click this, we must see changed, and it's toggled. When we click back, they will call change. So that means we finally linked to this element that has the ID of mode selector. Then what we need to do right now is very simple. So we are going to create a variable, and I'm just going to call it body container. So this one is also user defined. You can call it anything you want, and we are going to assign it to document.body. So we are selecting the whole document, so the entire page. So that's why we are doing document.body. So body is like the element that we are selecting, or it's the element that we want to target or add on the other class of dark mode. Then here below we say body container dot class list, and we say dot toggle, and here we are going to pass in the name of the class that we created in style.css. So this class that we created here, the one that we are going to put in the main.js toggle class list here. So we are going to say dark underscore mode. Refresh the page. So when we click here, and we're having that, so they are going into the style.css and pick these properties and value that are associated with this class and apply it to the body, because here we said document.body, so body is like a selector of what we want act on, and we stored whatever thing that is here into this variable body container. So here we say body container dot class list dot toggle. So toggle will be toggling truth and false, so on and off. As you can see, right now it's true. When we remove, it's false. So we go back to the light mode. We click there, it goes back to the dark mode. I hope you have understood these simple ways of how you can create the light and dark mode using CSS and JavaScript. So guys, if this tutorial was useful to you, please consider subscribing to the channel, like the video, share it on different social medias, and I'll see you in the next tutorials. Subscribe.